You're okay with a hand wash?
Of course. You ever have anyone argue that?
Yes.
Oh, you already got me started.
Sorry, I got you started.
No, just why? Because I'm like, I mean, I sort of knew the answer would be somebody, but like, are they teasing you or do they really mind doing it?
I don't know. I think Santino refused, and maybe he thought he was being playful, but I had him leave.
Did you really?
No. No. I just washed everything.
I bought your bottle of wine. Thank you.
Just Class de boys.
I don't know.
I don't understand how. I mean, I'm flattered, but are you making that much money?
I do all right. My TikTok money is really.
Oh, this is expensive.
Oh, did you?
2020, the year of COVID. Wow, we'll put it here so people could be impressed by it. Do you like gabagoo? Because I have some gabagoo.
What is that? I love that. Gabagoo is just a funny word to me, but you don't really have gabagoo.
Yeah, I think it's actually dinosaur meat because.
Are you?
Yeah, because that's where Fred Flintstone would always want to get his yabba gabagoo. Theme music.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah.
So I got good news. I got bad news. What do you want first?
The bad news.
The bad news is I only have one thing of good news.
Oh, I don't like my laugh. I do like you know what? Shut up. There you go.
You know what we'll do? Why don't you practice right now?
Laugh like
find a laugh that you like, and we will edit that laugh in whenever we hear a laugh of yours that isn't good enough.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so do a few.
I don't want it to be phony either, but hold on.
I know how to make you laugh.
You're gonna tickle me?
No.
Oh.
No, I have to do without the sound. So
Okay. But that's going to seem phony later. But people are going to know now every time they see it.
We'll edit that part out.
Oh, well, it's good to be here.
Don't edit that part out. So here's the good news, Todd.
Oh, what's the good news?
Todd.
And by the way, I like doing long podcasts. So the only thing I could be late for it. I have someone doing some tech in my podcast studio today. Ooh. They're going to be there at 3, but I can be late. Like I told them where the key is and they can go in, but I don't want to be too late. Otherwise, I would have been like, right. 1:30 is fine. But I didn't want to start late because then I knew you do a longer podcast.
This episode is sponsored by Freeze Pipe. So for the smoothest smoking experience and free shipping, shop now at freezepipe.com and use code TYSO. For 10% off your order. Todd, that's thefreezepipe.com code TYSO for 10% off. Shop today. Your throat and lungs will thank you. Now I have a special treat for us. Not only does Freeze Pipe sponsor the podcast, Freeze Pipe makes our podcast that much more enjoyable, that much cooler, and that much more smooth.
What? Oh, you took
Put in his laugh for me.
Oh.
Use that one for his first one earlier on. And now people will hear and be like, oh, that's where it came from.
I'm jealous you can edit because it must be fun it's work, but you know exactly what you when you put your podcast together. I've seen a lot of your clips. I can't edit. I can't do anything like that. So, would have to tell someone else, and it's probably better if you can do it yourself. You know exactly what you're looking for. And who did that thing for you? You use it a lot. You've been using it for a while. It's a great little sting. I can't even remember it. I just heard it in my car.
What?
It's just a sting you use on a lot of your edits.
A sting?
Yeah, it's like a sound. Doesn't matter.
Oh, is it this?
No. Then you would know I was lying if I go, that's it. It's funny. We don't have it. Funny. Well, good. We're gonna smoke a little.
So this is the freeze pipe. It's actually fucking awesome. My dad has been using this for the longest time. And when I found out they were sponsoring me, I thought it was cool. Like, oh, I know this thing. So you keep this in the freezer, so it's much smoother.
Wow, it's a piece of art.
It's beautiful. But here's the thing: I don't fill it up with water because I don't trust my guests, and it's a bubbler with weed smelling water, and you got to be careful. I got so many comments on the last episode that I did this without filling it up with water that I'm like, I got to just do it. So I'm going to ask you, obviously, be careful.
Yeah.
Because there's really no way to set this down well.
Yeah. What if I do it over this?
Yeah. Oh, that's there's no what if.
I put this on that for a second?
You can keep it there or put it over there. Yeah. Obviously, don't put it on the leather ottoman. You knew?
I'll do this. I'll feel better.
I would love it. And also, as we all know, don't blow it into the mic.
Don't blow it into the mic.
Don't blow it into the mic.
Don't blow it into the mic. Don't blow it into the mic.
Okay.
Don't blow it into the mic, huh? Why you do that? Wait, that was. You ever do an impression? It starts off okay, and then it goes. I think there's a tinge of racism in there. Or
Mine are always good, I feel like.
Okay, this is nice. This is like a really cool thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never saw this before.
Let me show you this, dude. It's really beautiful stuff. Check out their freeze pipe bong. Here you can.
Wow, I've never saw one of these before.
Look at this. It's like
What?
something that Walter White would check out of his chemistry
This is
lab.
gorgeous.
Isn't it beautiful?
Wow, that you don't use this?
I haven't used the bong because the thing is, Todd, I don't really smoke anymore because it hurts my throat.
But this will help that.
It's easy. It's better. Yeah, I still I'll hit it sometimes, but I kind of don't. I don't know. I've just been. So I took an edible before you got here.
I know.
How do you know?
Because you texted me and said, if you're going to smoke, I'll take an edible now. As far as
Careful with that water.
pipes go, I used to never clean my pot pipes. Like, it could go a month. Now,
like a cast iron skillet.
yeah,
keeps
but
the
not
seasoning
with
in
the
there.
same, but one's got a good reason to do it. And then my ex would clean the pipe a lot. Now I've gone further than him. It's like smoking a cigarette from the night before. It's never as good when it starts out clean. So now I can't use pipes unless they're clean for the night. Like, I don't use it the second day I clean.
Will you drink a coffee the day after in the fridge?
I never do. I probably would if I needed to. I wouldn't be against. Well, no, I never have done that.
What do you use to clean your pipe? Classic pipe cleaners?
I just put it in a plastic baggie with alcohol, and then there's a nail on a 2x4 outside my house, so I just hang it there. So it sits on the bottom and all the and it just it's you get why I do that. And I put it in there for an hour or two, and it's just clean because you're doing it every day. You don't have to like get a Q-tip.
Why every day?
Because it tastes better. To have like a brand new cigarette. I don't smoke anymore, but when I did, like I said, when you put a cigarette out, and even if you just relight it once, it doesn't have the same good taste. Did you ever smoke?
Never cigarettes. But I really miss smoking, like properly smoking weed.
I didn't smoke joints for probably a few years. I don't know why. I mean, I did occasionally. But now for the podcast, I really like them. They're just, I don't know.
You got to pull it out.
Oh,
Yeah. No, while you're... Yeah.
I can tell you already. Absolutely. I had a feeling it was gonna. I knew it, like, because it's cold and you're like, it's nice.
Crisp, right?
Yeah.
Head on over to freezepipe.com. Use code TYSO for 10% off your whole order.
I like it. There you go.
You still got more you could clear, bud.
I don't want to get.
Right.
That's perfect.
Let me see that.
That looks crisp. How did you get to know about this? What's it called again?
Freeze pipe. Well, my dad has been using them, but he uses like the little pipe. He just keeps it in keeps it in the freezer at all times.
Where's your dad live?
Cleveland.
I feel like I know your dad only from the clips.
Well, I haven't done that in a while.
Here we are.
Oh, the taste, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives. You know what I mean? No, listen, if you're not going to use headphones, you're going to have to eat that mic.
Okay, cool. They'll make me sweat. Is that okay if I don't use them?
Of course. Now, they're not a sponsor, so no big deal. But I went through a lot of headphones to find the best headphones. Sound quality is good. I'm not here to brag about the sound quality. To make you not feel like you're wearing stuff. So at some point,
Really?
you're still wearing headphones.
Yeah.
But you can have them on, because I do this for 2.5 hours sometimes. They start
Yes,
to
it
hurt.
starts.
Never.
Can I tell you what I'm going through? And that's why there's a guy meeting me at my house. He's been helping me. I have the band sometimes. So there were a lot of headphones, with me. Like there were like sometimes 6 or 7 headphones, and they were the complication of the studio all the time. Wires going everywhere, tangles. Like it's all the headphones. Mm-hmm. So I'm without headphones. It took a little work. We're so close. And I just put it through the house a little because I have like a system in there. So just to give everyone's voice a little volume,
a little oomph.
They feel better, but not where it's like a PA system. Right. Unless you want it, I turn it up and I use it.
But doesn't that affect your levels when you're mixing it? I don't want to get too in the weeds here.
No. It's been great, and there's no headphones. But I'm just.
What's the name of your podcast?
The Todd Glass show?
I only see clips where you're by yourself.
Right. But yeah, we're going to start putting up some clips from the podcast.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
and I should, because the studio is like, I put a lot into the studio.
Do you think people that listen to the Take Your Shoes Off podcast would enjoy the Todd Glass show?
That's a great question.
You on YouTube?
Yeah, they put them on YouTube, and it's on, wherever you...
Why don't you head on over to one of the newer episodes of the Todd Glass show, and if you're into it, say TYSO sent me, or say Rick sent me.
Yeah.
So Todd gets some new followers, but I also get the prestige of people being like, I have a big presence in the podcast game.
Right. I'm going to try these on. And
replace that laugh with a better one. Keep that one. That one's good. So go ahead.
Oh, that pot was... You know what? Keep thinking I'm never going to say this. I smoke more than I did 10 years ago. Like, I smoke probably about 5 or 6 nights a week. I take a night or two off every week just because I want to. I don't smoke during the day because I just want to. And doing just 1 or 2 nights off and only smoking at night, I still really enjoy it every single time. Yeah. Like right now, I'm like, wow. It's like, if you're not, I call it, if you're just using it to sand the edges off the day, it's not like you have trauma that you're going to try to smoke pot and get rid of it. And that's not going to work. You got to do some work on
My
yourself.
dad and cousin Teddy call it their maintenance.
Their maintenance?
Just to stay a little. They do whatever. They smoke.
Does your dad smoke?
All day, every day, though. Not, morning, noon, and night.
What a different world from even 20 years ago or 10.
He's been smoking every day of his life since before I was born.
But I mean that no one ever talked about it even 20 years ago.
I don't know. I grew up.
My perception was my reality, but you're saying in your house it was talked
Where'd you grow up?
In Philadelphia.
That's a pot smoking place.
Well, I mean, my parents were very progressive. My mom was like a little bit of a hippie, and so I knew of pot. And the first time I smoked it was with my mom. My dad went out of town, and her theory was like liquor. Let kids. So I was 14.
You're going to say as in liquor, as in saying if you're going to drink, to have it with me for the first time?
That's sort of a theory that seems to work, like don't make it this forbidden thing in the house. Like at a certain age.
Like pornography. If you're going to watch it with your parents. Keep that one.
God damn it. Can I tell you, I wish I was all right with I am all right overwhelming with my laugh, but obviously self-aware of it. And when I go to see Eddie Pepitone or someone that really knows how to I have to hold back laughter, and I should, because I don't want anyone to perceive it to be trying to get attention or, you know what I mean? Because people do that too, so you got to be careful. But I'm not. Eddie just makes me convulse.
And so you don't laugh because you're trying to control a narrative that doesn't even exist.
Oh, no. For that, people in the audience that might think, oh, he's just laughing to get attention. It's not that funny,
Well, do you ever laugh?
Oh, yeah, I laugh a lot.
I'm saying at him.
Yes, in his show. No, I go to see a show. I laugh most of the time, but there's times when I bring it down a little because I look like it's just too. I mean, I'm punching my chair. I'm punching people next to me.
That sounds like you're like. If I heard somebody laugh a lot, the chances of me thinking that he's just trying to get attention would be way less than if I see somebody at a club punching chairs and punching people.
That's what I do when I am letting go.
That's what I'm saying. That's more attention. Oh,
that's what I'm doing when I'm letting go.
Yeah, you got to relax.
Right. Thank you for being. So I do, and I can still have a ball. But I will tell you this: I recently saw Eddie in Austin, and the whole crowd was like me, like comics. It was and they knew that, and he was fucking murdering. And I was able to just let loose because everybody was. There were people flailing around. The guy next to me, we were looking at each other like just that look of like, God damn it, how great is this?
Show me what that look looks. Look, there's the show that way. I'm the guy that you lock eyes with to make that look. Make that look to me. I'm going to try to make it back.
Okay.
Whoa. Is that it?
No, I mean that's close. I would try to be nice. No, I mean not like yours is more
like an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, can I do another take? I mean that was good. That was good. But more like I guess
you show me, and then I'll watch.
That's okay. Here we go. So it's more like you can't believe it. You're just like I know. It's more like you're laughing hysterically. You're bonding with the person like this is beating the shit out of you because it's so funny.
I think I get it. I get it. I can do it.
I know. Okay.
I can't match the face, but I can match the intention.
You get the energy of it. Okay. Here we go. Oh.
Right? Is that it?
Well, I mean, it was. Can I tell you seriously?
Yeah.
Even in the bit or out of the bit, it was better.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it-
the first one, I didn't know what you were doing. I just
You
saw you
didn't
with your
know.
eyes.
This one, you got it.
Here, watch. But stay looking at me. Don't be you're just to be an observer because I
Okay.
feel like the first thing I want to do, you miss because that's still you focusing. You know.
Right.
So just watch. Just watch this.
Watch us what you do. Wait, that was right.
Yeah.
But the other two times you were joking,
No, the
right?
first time I was joking. The second time I had to extend out that face so it didn't feel as natural. Like when you're doing a multicam and you have to pause for the applause.
Thank you. Can I tell you something? I love you. And I, in the chaos of bits sometimes, you don't know with, some people.
Each other's sentences.
What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
I like to sometimes touch down. Like the fact that you just answer me honestly helps me now I'll go back to being silly, but you're like, no, the first one was, and it made sense right away. And I'm like, so I love that you did that.
I talk about on stage now how I didn't learn until recently in life. You could just go, I'm just kidding.
Right.
And then people are like, oh. And then you could be like, here's what I meant to do.
Right.
Because I always felt like that's either bailing on the bit and I would rather it's like you want to hit it out of the park, right? And if you hit a ground ball, you could still make it to first, but I'm like, no, I got to get home with this. And you're risking a lot. And then you lose the trust of the people you're doing that, because your batting average, here's what I learned. Grand slams are great. But if you could get on base every time, you might be a redneck.
Well, it's
Rick.
interesting that you brought that up, Rick. But because the hold on, I'm sorry. What are we talking about? No, you didn't really do that.
Oh.
Can I tell you something? Truth. That's my honesty. Fake farts are fine, but like if you farted right now, I would hate it.
When I'm talking to,
I want to finish what I was going to say about what you said.
but I had an idea.
Oh.
So when I was 17,
No, let me.
I was
you
joking.
were talking about and you thinking the way you used to think. And by the way, whatever a comedian wants to do is they should do it. We're not writing, but we're just talking between us. Well, maybe they should at least give it a listen. No, I do think it is an individual thing, and I could see why you would think that, like it's bailing on it. Because believe me, I thought that, and I would always do compare my comedian that did that really well. He doesn't stop in the middle of his act and go. Kevin Meaney didn't go. I don't care. The joke is I don't care. He just committed. So, but I guess I split the difference. For me, I like him to know sometimes. And I have a safe word on my podcast and on my show, and I find it incredibly create a good creative outlet for honesty. And the reason I do it is because I know I'm going a little long, but I'm almost done. I tell them, I always say truth and I tell the audience this, because sometimes something will happen in the show. And even my brother will come up to me after the show and go, was that planned? And I go, oh, I said it wasn't planned, but people don't know. And sometimes you'll go with me if I can ground it in truth. I'll be like, first, I'll go, so 20 minutes later, I'll go, folks, this is a true story, truth. I did this when I was 8, and they'll go with you. Mm-hmm. Or if there is a problem with the sound, that you can go, hey, by the way, truth, this is not planned. And then I'll go back to the act, but it's helpful for me.
I'm so glad you ended that when you did, because I was and there was about 5 or 10 seconds where I felt myself being like, you got to wrap this up.
I know. I smell it.
And
no, I mean on myself. Go, wrap it up.
But you smelt it 20 seconds before. I didn't smell it yet. Because you're like, this is, I know. I do that
where
too.
I'm going.
I know, that you fed up. But it's funny how before the other people know. But just because you know doesn't mean it's true. I'll sometimes. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
No, but that's, I think very much in line with the bailing or not committing as a negative thing. Because sometimes you gotta audible.
Mm-hmm.
And I have learned that sometimes pitching a joke, though not as funny, is way more efficient than performing it. Because sometimes performance takes a long time, blah, blah, blah. It's not worth it.
Give me an example of what you mean. I think I do.
Okay. You know that saying, you have a booger, no, it's not, no, it's not? You know that?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do that, but with tell me what you're saying. I think I do. Right? But we show me like I'm standing up and I blow my nose and a whole bunch of doos come out, but it's doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
So I would blow my nose with actual shit.
Right.
Could we do that real quick? No, you don't need to do it. Just pitch it.
Right. Pitch it.
It's not the best
Wait,
example.
no. Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Well, okay, if I'm way off, at least I'm trying and we could be on to
that's
something.
all I want.
But I genuinely might prove we're on the same
Truth?
page. Truth. I've had this on my like secondary list of an idea for, I guess it could be a podcast. It could be a video podcast. And it was talk your bit, talk your sketches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm never going to do this sketch. But what if you came on my show but you got some sound cues, and you could like talk it, but we got a guy over on the board. Yeah. And you're just going, and then this, because you know what? Sometimes I'll pitch a sketch, like tell my friends, they're dying. Like, forget about when it doesn't get them. Sometimes it really doesn't. Everyone's adding in. So you do that. Are you ever going to shoot it? Are you ever going to do maybe, and that's great. But if you're not, I could probably think of, if I knew I was going to go on a podcast like that, I would even have ideas. I'd start writing them down because I think of things that I go, oh, this could be a bit, or this could be a TikTok. So,
but why is it that while the world's on fire, mm-hmm. you got the liberals being woke, mm-hmm. you got the Republicans being gay.
Yeah.
You got the liberals, throwing stones at glass houses. You got the Republicans being straight.
Mm.
You got the liberals eating fucking pussy. You got the Republicans fucking liking.
They're liking it.
They like pussy.
They like pussy.
Wait a minute.
Wait. Everybody likes
wait a minute. No. Truth. If the liberals like pussy and the Republicans like pussy. Now, pussy could be assholes, penises, nipples,
whatever your thing
mouths.
is. I get it.
It's why are we not trying to put a pussy into office?
This is brilliant.
I've always thought that if God were a woman, well, she probably is, but there wouldn't be war. What do you think about that?
That's been probably determined, hasn't it?
Yeah. So how come you don't think that we have a woman president? Would you vote for a woman no matter what her policies were?
No.
What if she was a minority?
Of course not.
You wouldn't vote for a minority woman president no matter what her policies are?
No, of course not.
Racist.
Why am I? Probably when I laughed just then, my chin looked like it was.
Will you get into this insecurity of your laugh? Because I don't understand that.
It's you know what it is? I'm not going to mention it one more time the rest of the show.
No.
No, I know you do,
but you have to.
I bet it's better for me. I don't.
But I got to know about it.
Well,
it's just you and me.
I will tell you this.
Fix that one.
That I had that boot on my leg, and I was like 8 weeks. I work out every single day on the elliptical. I do sit-ups, push-ups. I do a lot. I have someone stretch me once a week.
Somebody comes over to stretch you?
Yeah, it's the best thing I ever did. But
how much is that?
You should soak in it after. You ever interrupt a story with a story and then you're afraid you're not going to go back?
I'll remember.
Okay, God bless you.
How much is the...
Okay, I do a double session. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Someone recommended him. And I go, all I want to help is with stretching. He's a trainer. He's not just a stretcher.
I figured he wasn't just a stretcher. What's a stretcher?
You might think like, okay, but you still have to do it. You know what?
He does it all for you.
It's so...
You lay there, they push.
It takes a month. Yeah, because you're breathing out because he told you to breathe out, and he's pushing in. And guess what? Pretty quick, you get as limber as you need to be. Maintaining, it's too good to be true. It's like sometimes he comes over and he goes, well, you told me what you want, and now it's you don't get up anymore in your back because posture. I fucking give a shit about it. Mm-hmm. And there was the only one thing, because I used to go, I still feel like I did when I was 20. I really do. Like sometimes I'm like, when's it going to happen? And then with the stretching.
Did you feel really bad when you were 20 or something?
No, I felt great when I was 20. I was great. You know what I mean. So now with the stretching, yeah, it's the best thing. An hour a week, and it's
an hour 20,
worth
2 40-minute sessions.
Oh, I meant it's 120, and it's an hour.
$120. He comes over. Does he bring a stretcher? A table?
No. I have a thing that I can do it on in my backyard.
$120 once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're at $480 a month.
I know.
Hey, listen. Do you know how many people? How many people out there who are 40 or above would pay $40 a month to feel 20?
That's a good pitch.
Put your hands down. You watch the show, everybody. Now you.
So I was going to say that. So I take care, and because I was not treadmill, I'm telling you, if I miss 5 days a year, that's a big deal. And I didn't do it for 8 weeks, so I put on some weight. So I will say this in defense of myself, as much as I think, get over, don't be so insecure. When I am, and I'm going to lose it, I'm losing a pound a day. It's not like I'm trying. I am. It'll come off because I'm working out again. I'm back on the elliptical. I do feel better when my face, like I have to admit, when I look at pictures and I'm 15 pounds less, I don't mind them as much.
So the laugh is about your face, not the sound.
Oh, it's both. The face is different than the laugh is just when I really laugh hard, I mean, but I'm not the only one to feel that way. So when I feel that way, I go, well, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like
I don't
their
think there's
laugh.
anybody else who doesn't like
Of course, it's a common thing.
your laugh.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
Well, thank you. And you know what?
I met him once.
When I'm saying I don't need what?
I met what once?
Whom?
First base.
I just saw.
I could get Dr. Whom on the phone, and he will let you know.
Who?
Whom?
I'm sorry, who?
No. His name is Dr. Whom. My doctor is named Seymour Whom.
How do you spell that?
WHOM.
Oh, with the silent M. Okay.
No.
Who? Whom? Are you saying or
Dr. Whom? Knock, knock.
whom's there?
Who?
Your doctor.
Dr. Whom.
Okay.
Who did I see doing
Harlan
that
Williams.
with you? Right.
You guys in a similar class or no?
What do you mean?
Did you come up-ins together at all? Did you
I
know
didn't
him
know
years ago?
Harlan until I moved to L.A.
That after or before Last Comic Standing?
Before I think I met him
You moved to L.A. You were Last Comic Standing in New York or L.A.?
in L.A.
Listen, we wanted to get back because you interrupt, and I know what this is. So we'll get back to that in one sec. But before we do, rewind effect. When you say a stretcher, you made sure that I knew it was a trainer, not just a stretcher. As if there were a job that was just a stretcher, that he would be so objectified to be like, well, he's a doctor, but he's a dentist. Like, yeah, he's in physical therapy, but as a stretcher.
Can I tell you? Don't you think there is? He's not. He's a trainer, but of course.
But wouldn't you rather a stretcher then? Like, let me give you an example, okay? If you're going to a dentist just to get care of your TMJ disorder, but he deals with whitenings and straightenings and bacchides and lockities, all the things, wouldn't you rather go to somebody who specializes in TMJ?
I have a good answer for you.
And we'll get that right after
Right
a
after
word
this.
from our sponsors.
Wow, we're back. This is when you come back from break on a show like
normally
this.
we do, but I'm actually going to do it live time. So would you like to take another little hit as they read from the freeze
I
pipe?
think I'm good.
Are you high?
Yeah, I feel amazing.
But wait a minute. You took just a couple of little hits. It seems so smooth, like you didn't even inhale.
No, I said I couldn't. Didn't I thought I said this? So when something works so well, you can't really be if I was sponsoring it on my show, it seems phony when you're like, wow, that was so smooth. But it is. I mean, it was a very smooth. Now what if I overdid? I go almost. Could I say refreshing?
Yeah. Well, if we instead of filling it with water, we fill it with lemonade on a summer.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
This is the best thing in the world.
What's so great about the freeze pipe is not only does it chill, so you take it in something cooler and smoother.
Right.
We're literally just talking about how cool this, I almost called it a pipe, excuse me, piece of art is. Hold it up at least for the camera, please.
It is a piece of art.
You know what? Maybe don't because of the water.
Okay.
Ooh, go. Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the microphone.
Ooh.
Hey, you're right.
It really is gorgeous.
It really is beautiful, and it really feels great.
Can I tell you something? I judge a company by the case it comes in.
Oh.
And that case, shut the front door.
Well,
it's gorgeous.
Right after this, I have some questions about some cases where you feel the case is not doing the product service versus the opposite.
Oh,
but first,
God, that's
let me
a
let
great.
everybody
Please don't
know.
forget. That's a great.
How could I forget? What was that again?
That's a good one.
So for the smoothest smoking experience and free shipping, shop now at freezepipe.com and use code TYSO for 10% off your order. That's
Shut up.
freezepipe.com, code TYSO for 10% off. Shop today. Your throat and lungs will thank you. And you know what else might thank you? a friend that you haven't talked to in a little bit, when you're like, I got some new product. It's this kind of cool. I don't quite understand how it's so different than a regular pipe. But then once you use it, it honestly doesn't feel like you smoked. It just feels like you got fucked.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to. Oh my God. You know when you think you're losing?
You felt like you couldn't say it?
I came.
Really?
And I was high. I was so fucking embarrassed.
Can we actually, I didn't notice. Maybe the camera picked it up. Can we cut to a replay?
If you look at it, you can see a little.
How you been, Rick?
And we're back.
Brilliant. I'm sure we found it if it happened. I just don't remember. So what happens? You come sometimes when the pipe is so smooth?
Whatever that was, I was like, wow. Did you? I thought you didn't notice it. I thought you noticed it. To be honest, I started to get self-conscious.
I may have been reading the.
Yeah.
Let's find out. Maybe I was reading during it.
I'm thinking this fuck.
Shipping now at freezepipe.com. You code TYSO terms every order. That's freezepipe.com. Code TYSO for 10% off. Shop today. Your throat and lungs will thank you.
And we're back.
Where are you looking? No, but we have a good time. So there was two things that we were talking about getting back to, and I think now maybe have forgotten them. The stretcher one we took care of.
The bottles, like badly branded companies. Like if a bottle's
Right.
It's not a nice
Going
case.
by the case.
Right.
So what have you seen that's not a nice case, but you really like the product, but you don't like it as much because the case was no good? Tell it to me in a song, or don't tell me at all.
I'll tell you this. If you put some reverb in my voice, I can sing like this. Ba 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 ba. How about letting this band?
And I'll tell you what, if you bring my reverb down, I could sing like this.
I gotta admit, I love reverb.
Then put the reverb up and bring the treble down.
Maybe give me some digital delay.
You even try to rhyme with me.
No, I can't rhyme. I can't even snap. When you started to snap and I joined in, I go, don't snap.
Not only did you just snap so great,
I snap different. I snap like this. I can't do that, but I don't ever.
you know, I noticed that you didn't say I'm trying to lose weight. You said I am. But when there's things that become a little too challenging for you, you say what you can and can't do.
I didn't say I couldn't do it.
You said he can't.
I said I don't.
I don't remember. Cut back.
I can. I can.
Yeah,
You know what?
you said I can.
You would never show me do it. You're just going to show that in the bit, right? Because I'm doing it now because I know how absurd it'll look later.
What do you mean? As if we just cut I just talk and we cut to you either coming or laughing a whole bunch?
Like, I did that for 20 seconds because I know how funny it'll look later because it's so absurd that you might have missed that the first time.
Right?
But like, what if you just show me doing it and you never got to it for anything?
But then they still know what you're doing.
Oh, that's true. That's
still-
true. You're very, you really have, you follow
You were gonna
thought.
call me a kike, weren't you?
No,
Coming again.
you have a good, you remembered those two things. And
No,
then
you remembered the box. I'm good with the live edits.
What was the other thing?
The other thing was we were talking about. Well, let's backwards engineer it and see what we could find. Yes, kind of trainer, right? Because your foot, you're wearing the boot, trying to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Your laugh,
Yeah, we
not
did.
liking the sound or the way your face looked.
Mm-hmm.
First base.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. We're done.
You know, I think of you when I go to hotels because you brought something up the first time you came on my podcast that I also never. I always was like, "What the fuck is this?" Do you already know what I'm talking about at a hotel?
There's two things.
Go ahead.
No, you want me to go first?
Well, I remember. So yeah,
One is genuinely like, look, I am not. But I respect people that have like whatever their issue, whatever their relationship with germs and how uncomfortable or comfortable they are with them. I respect it. I don't have that problem, and I only say that or that.
I know to validate the fact that this bothers me, and I'm
It
not
bothers
someone that
me,
this
and
kind
I'm
of
not.
stuff
And I'm
bothers
not.
me.
Yeah.
Like saying, like, listen, it's almost giving yourself validation. Like
And
the opposite. Please, this
Yes.
is very important.
Yes.
I eat shrimp literally every day. I've been around the world eating shrimp. So when I tell you this shrimp is fantastic, I'm not just some Joe Blow off the street who doesn't eat shrimp every day. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it, so So we're talking about I do lose my memory a lot. About go ahead. I almost
Trying to pretend like
for $1 million. Okay,
You tell me.
for $1 million. No, go ahead. No. Okay, you talked about shrimp, and I was trying to classify myself for something to go. Oh, hotels. Yes. Oh, do you put it like there's something going on there? Some ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, of course. We're just
That I get it. You have to touch things, but it is crazy that in 2022 that there are not just hardwood floors. Number one in hotels. Is it nice to go from carpeting to when you get off in your bare feet? Yeah, it is really nice. But guess what? Most people, it is a disease festival. If you get rid of the carpeting, think about that. That's a lot. And you get rid of look, this is not that much. I really can't believe that every hotel doesn't do this. I'm talking about even if it's a Hilton or a Marriott. I don't even just mean like put the fucking blanket. Look, the DoubleTree does it. Everybody else should be fucking mortified. The DoubleTree puts the blanket in a duvet. So even though I know the blanket isn't washed, what I touch on my face will be Cloroxed. Zip it. If they put a pillow on the bed, they zip it up. I don't want any fucking pillow in the room. That should be your style. You can make it look gorgeous. Anything that someone's shit could have been on, why do you have it in a hotel room? How about the ones that sandwich it between two sheets? That shouldn't be acceptable.
That's what I want to talk to you about.
That shouldn't be acceptable.
You have the comforter that doesn't get washed.
It doesn't get washed. They don't even lie. It's not like we're saying it. They don't get washed.
Here, I'll be a very confident, and I think I run a great business, hotel manager, and you be a customer asking me if they wash those things. Go ahead.
Do you wash the blanket?
Honey, we got another 5 stars for our hotel. Fantastic.
Right. This isn't just me and you being
No, I'm still
absurd.
the manager. You got to.
Okay.
I'm just getting into the scene a little.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
can we start again?
Yes.
Wow, look at this.
Where are we at? Set the scene. I really don't know.
Yeah. So you're, in case anybody feels like, well, you don't know those aren't I mean, they maybe you feel like you have some scandal, but like if you ask them, I mean, they wash them. Even ask. I'm going to show you how untrue that is because I'm going to be a very accurate, sincere manager, and you're going to be a customer. And you're going to ask me, and listen, I know my business. I run a great business. I have nothing to hide. Okay,
you get it. Okay,
right. And hold on one sec. Oh man, another award for running the best hotel.
Hi. Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, Mr. Glass. Notice how I know your name because for some reason in hotels everyone remembers your name.
Well, thank you. And I'm not trying to be problematic. I was just having a discussion with a friend of mine. Do they like the blankets and that are sandwiched in between the two sheets?
Of course,
that nestles out every night. Do they wash those?
No, sir, because we do the top and the bottom sheet that sandwich them. So the comforters themselves aren't washed.
So
you could bring the caviar and the filet mignon in. Glad Liam Neeson's staying here because our hotel's so good.
Are you no? But like because the blanket how it comes out, and then
no because the blanket never. See, here's the thing. Even though we don't put it in a duvet cover, we put one sheet down. Then we put the comforter that we don't wash on top. Then we put another sheet. Now those two top and bottom sheets are clean, and then you'll never touch a comforter because we just go like this and do a little fold at the top because everyone who sleeps will sleep like this. And there's no way you're going to wake up with the fold under and you have this comforter that we don't wash on your cheek. And you go, why am I spending so much money to stay here? You would never feel that way. Yeah, no, double the caviar. Money's not an issue with our hotel. But we just don't think it makes sense to use a duvet cover because it takes an extra minute.
I am so happy right now. And I love you because and I almost plowed past that bit. And it took me a lot I want to stop every 2 minutes and point out why I think it's so funny. You're not exaggerating. That is the truth. You would have awards, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. Can I tell you something? If I ever could have a show like someone like Conan that gets to do whatever he wants, a big slice of what I did would be go find out about that. I want to meet, and I'm not talking the Ritz-Carlton. I think they do have a duvet there.
If I'm not mistaken, you're also thinking of the Hilton and the Marriott.
The Hilton Marriott, they don't do it. Yeah, they should do it. DoubleTree does it. I'll give them credit. But still the rugs. We are not able to go. Do you remember like when you talk about smoking in the supermarket? Like
when did we talk about smoking in the supermarket?
No, I'm saying people do. They are like, we can't say this in 2022. And you can't go, Do you remember when hotels actually had carpeting and people would be like, oh my God, that was so vile? And some 20-year-old should go, you mean they had like rugs with all this shit? Yeah. Back, I don't know when, but no, we still do it. Like, what? That is a legitimate, not a germaphobe.
I'm not connecting with the rug thing.
The rug, the disease festival that's in a rug. You just have laminate
You're saying
floors.
the carpet.
Yeah, carpet.
Right.
I'm sorry, carpet.
Yeah, so they do vacuum those.
Is it cleaner than if it was laminate flooring? It's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's thin, but it's still a low carpet, so the vacuum is good. But I'll tell you what I do.
Get rid of fungus.
Well, I always ask for slippers.
Right.
I don't let the floor touch, and then sometimes if I forgot the slipper or they don't have them, I'll put a towel. What I used to do I would step on the towel, and then I would hold two ends of the towel like it was like a sleigh. And I would jump and hop and towel my way over to my suitcase so I could put my socks, which for some reason we feel the sock is a barrier. This is nothing. This is carpet. Why will nothing get through the sock? But when I step on a carpet with a sock, I'm clean. It's kind of like how I feel about toilet paper, which if I were to blow my nose in toilet paper, I'd feel like I have snot on my finger. But for some reason, a double, even a quad fold on a public toilet seat, I'm fucking in a hazmat suit. The trust I put in toilet paper only exists, not even for my asshole. And a public, when I wipe my butt, you know why I wash my hands? Because poop's getting through to my butthole to my finger. But all of a sudden, this magic barrier. Anyway, that's how I felt about whatever the other thing was we were talking about.
Thank you. And just to give that some perspective.
Thank you.
When I'm at a hotel, it just gives it perspective why I say this. I walk around in bare feet. I don't think about it then. I walk around in bare feet. If you're in a nice hotel, it feels clean. But I say that from the perspective of some people might be uncomfortable with it. I wouldn't mind if the rugs weren't there. I get it. The carpeting's nicer in the middle of the night. But I wouldn't mind it if they weren't there, but a lot of people would like it a lot better. It's just so much more hyper. It's so ridiculously cleaner, not just a little bit. It's night and day. There's a lot of germs in those rugs.
You know, I grew up taking care of my flooring, whether it's hardwood, laminate, or, synthetic, even a wool with a silk blend, hand knotted, beautiful Tibetan rug. Listen, I find that, we put art on the walls to make us think and to brighten our spirits. And I've always said that I feel like curtains are artwork for your windows, because it's not just to keep the sun out. Anyway, when I move in,
there's truth to what you just said. You put thought into that.
Absolutely. Some people will have like a windows where two curtains is enough, one curtain panel for each, and it's just out like a shower curtain. Listen, if you don't have, if I've said this once, I've said it at least now going to be 2 times. Get enough for pleats. Or what are we doing? Like, or just why don't you put up 2x4s? Okay, make it look nice.
Okay, first of all, you're just hitting so many things that I've said this to some of these comedy clubs that have even a secondary room. I don't want to mention which ones. And look, all it takes, exactly what you just said. So they'll put a curtain up, but they'll do exactly what you said.
Oh, we only need one. We could stretch it out.
Yeah, the difference between that probably being 2.5 times.
It's 2 times.
2 times.
And if one panel works, get one more.
And then if you had that, whatever the room looked like, but people were standing in front of that with a microphone, a cool stool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's what people think of your club. And instead, it's like you can see the wall behind it because the curtain split a little. That is such a big difference. And it has a sort of a weight to it. That it's so easy to create a nice space anywhere you go.
And that's why I feel that, like, why don't we feel our floors are the same? There's this stigma that you're walking all over somebody. You step over them like they're beneath you. These things are on the floor. But let me tell you something else a floor is. A floor may be beneath you. A floor might have some gook on it because some people took their cigarette and they go, patooey. You know what else a floor does? Literally grounds you. Literally the foundation of who you can be. So I think it's important not only to keep our floors clean, but to keep ourselves inspired by being on them. And if you head on over to Marshall Rug Gallery, well, unfortunately, if you're looking to buy something, we don't let customers in. We don't have clients. All we have is family.
If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll find thousands of choices, including carpet, hardwood, rugs, and luxury vinyl. So make the right choice and visit Marshall Carpet One and Rug Gallery. And we promise
with more than 50 years as a family-owned business. We've got you covered!
Is there really a Marshall Rug Gallery?
Yeah.
Where?
Northeast Ohio.
Marshall Rug Gallery. Yeah. I love it. And how did they get mentioned on the show?
It's just my favorite rug flooring store.
Why is it your favorite rug flooring store?
Because you go in there needing...
Is this a real place?
Yeah, absolutely. You go in there, you need flooring. What you're going to get is help, and you're going to get inspiration. But let's say you don't want flooring, and let's say you don't know what you want, but you want something. You go in there, you get ideas. Now, you're not always going to come out with buying some new tile or a nice Karastan area rug. What you are going to do is realize, not only did I get some questions answered, I now have some new questions I never thought of, because you're talking to people who are experienced with a cumulative 140 years of business together. I'm telling you, these people don't just live and breathe flooring. They're grounded on it. So that's a Marshall Rug Gallery hat. Do you like that?
Yeah,
you
I
can show
do.
the camera. We'll put up a picture. You can get that at
There you go.
rickglassman.com.
There you go, folks.
Marshall Rug Gallery dad hat. Beautiful.
Marshall Rug Gallery.
Different pastel colors. But anyway, you were talking about coming. What was that laugh?
That was, I don't know.
All right.
When now that I'm not as high as I was before,
Take another
I
hit.
thinking about coming. Oh, Jesus. You have a drinking problem.
Take another hit.
I will take another hit.
I'll tell you something. I feel real nice.
I do too. I have to drive home. That's the only reason I have to be thoughtful of it.
I can so appreciate that. And if you think that that's a bad idea, maybe don't take another
Well, I
hit.
can have a little. What time? How? We got a while, right?
Yeah, man. Let's take a few more hours. Oh, man. Look at that. Look how cool. Now, they say you only have to put it in the freezer for an hour, which makes me think it might not last that long. Like, maybe we need to put it in again. Is it still
was
cool?
nice.
Yeah? Crisp?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Not as crisp as before, but definitely.
So you're saying you notice the difference when it's frozen? There's a
Yeah.
crispness there. Yeah.
Do you like grapes? What do
Oh.
I do?
Go ahead. I feel like I know what you're going to do. Could I guess?
Yeah.
All right, I have two guesses.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try it.
Do you like grapes?
Yes.
And the other one would be, do you like grapes?
Yes.
Well, how do you like these grapes?
no.
She gave me your number. Put up the Goodwill Hunting gift. next to
No,
it.
that's not what I was going to bring up. But do you like grapes?
One of my best friends is black.
Plump, like good grapes.
I love grapes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I just don't like frozen grapes. I heard
okay.
about them. I finally did it, but they're not, for some reason, it's not my thing. But I played
But
with
you
this.
like cold grapes?
I love cold grapes. But I played with this, how long I could keep them in the freezer, because it's longer than I thought, because I forgot about them one night, and they were in there for about 50 minutes. And let me tell you something.
Wait, you forgot about it and remembered within 50 minutes?
50. I wanted to go back in like 15. Oh, I'll put them in the freezer for 15.
Right.
But I went back like 50
Did you
minutes
set a
later.
timer?
No, I just
You just
looked
got
at the
distracted.
clock and went, shit, they were in there for 50. I figured they'd be frozen. At 50 minutes, grapes are just crazy fucking cold, and they pop.
Right.
Try it. No, they're not frozen.
It's still liquid.
Yeah, it's not frozen. It's
this-
not slushy. It's just a cold, plump grape.
CPG?
CPG. I'm jealous of people that can do that.
Yeah, I think you told me that last
I did.
time.
I can't think of those so quick. But I had a friend in high school that did it, and I always thought it was so. I like, how do you do that?
HYDDT.
Oh, shut the fuck.
STFU. Oh. H.
It's great.
TG.
Sometimes I go silent.
STIG.
And I
AIS. H.
Woo-wee.
W. No, man. But I'll tell you something. Since you came on here last time,
my
you've
God.
been one of my favorite guests. I met you outside of the Hollywood Improv. I knew of you because of Last Comic Standing, and can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
Thought you were hilarious.
Thank you.
And there were some other comics out there. I don't remember if I didn't know them or like maybe I've seen them around, but you're smoking a joint, and I said, "Can I have some?" He goes, "Yeah," and you get pulled over and like sit down, and we were out there for like I don't know. If I would have wanted to be out there for 15 minutes, I'd say probably 50, just laughing, having a great time. And then I smoked with you for like once a week. I feel like I would see you over there.
Yeah, I'd
you
see
were
you a
always
lot.
there smoking pot, and but we never had a long form conversation until the podcast.
Yeah.
And you get brought up often, like you got to get Todd Glass back on.
Well,
You're a
thank
great
you.
podcast guest.
Well, I appreciate that. This is a fun show. Like I'm, obviously
Let's go.
you're
Say it,
what?
say it. when you say it's a fun show, you got to look around and say it's good to be here.
It's good to be here. I mean, this is a fun show. I mean, you're going to edit this in?
No, I'm saying there's some.
I know I'm doing it is in the bit, right?
Yes, of course.
That's
but
why
there's
I have
certain tricks that I have discovered that I love to, because you've been in this business for a while, but you may have either forgot or maybe this was a side quest you never went down. But when you're telling stories, there's certain things to do. For example, you say you bring people in because they don't know what's going on, right? And you need to literally direct them. So let them know. You're saying, you're talking about it when you're at the comedy club, right? Sure, but let them know by where I was. You start by saying, so there I was. Where? Now you're answering a question that they didn't even know they had, right? You're engaging them. So you start, so there I was, right? I'm at the Comedy Store. And every time you introduce a new character, yourself included, every time you introduce a character, you have to let them in on who this person is and make it feel familiar, right? So you say, so you go like this. So there I am. I'm at the Comedy Club, and you know me. Now here's when you introduce a character in a show, it says the name, it says the age, it says scruffy but with intention, or a little thing to get to know them. And you know me, I don't smoke pot all the time, but I do love it. I grew up in a certain, you say a little thing about you that might be relevant to the story. Mm. So there I was. Say where, introduce yourself. So I'm talking to.
You talking about when in real life?
Yes.
Or
when you're telling a story. Anytime.
When you're telling a story.
And then when you introduce someone. So I'm talking to my buddy, Brian Regan. Now, you know Brian. He's always talking about the peanut butter and the jelly jars, something like that. So
wouldn't I just do this? On my podcast, I could see, I can get cleaner with my stories. But in real life, I think I just do it more comfortably.
I'm telling you, try it.
I'll try it.
Try it. It's like putting your story in ice for 50 minutes. Right. It's the same thing, but a little smoother.
Wow, that's a good, you sell your opinions.
And you're also bringing people over, because sometimes we think we're so interesting that the story takes care of itself. There's a little performance always.
Can I tell you something?
No. And here's another thing.
Thank you, because me and my ex were talking about, okay, they'll never hear this. Do you ever have to do that real quick? Go, no, they won't hear this. And he was talking about his dad being just so boring. Mm-hmm. And then we both talked to each other. We're like, I try to keep a check on it. And he goes, my dad doesn't even keep a check on it.
Keep a check on, what does that mean?
On being boring.
As in, am I being boring?
Telling a part of the story that doesn't need to be told. Mm-hmm. And I realized right away, I'm probably not as bad as his dad because I'm funny, but that doesn't mean you can't work on it. And I think about that when I'm telling someone a story about what happened to my foot.
Trim the fat.
Trim the fat. There's times to soak something in, and but mostly just trim the fat.
Listen, if you're going swimming, you want to get wet. But sometimes just keep it dry. Keep it loose.
Mm-hmm. So I think about that. And I know it's ironic to be talking about that because people go, you're doing it right now. But I'm talking about when I'm hanging out with friends, I think about it, not even on the podcast. So what you're saying.
So there are little tricks you could do. So try it. Tell me your.
No, I'll overthink it now.
But that's fine. But now we're all in on it.
I'll be nervous. I don't want to be nervous.
But then say that. So there I am, right? I'm doing Rick's podcast, and you know me. I'm nervous because when I'm obligated to do something, I'm now thinking about the result instead of the experience. So, but Rick's there, right? And you know Rick. He's always asking you to wash his hands and sit on the blanket. Do you at least get the device?
I can't do this. And I learned it's better to say that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, on my podcast, we have a jingle that he made us. It's called Run, Run, Run from the Bit. And I love telling this, and thank you for accepting it. And one time there was a comedian on, and I asked him to do something, and he was silly all night. We were doing it, and he goes, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I was like, I'm so glad you felt comfortable to do it. Because when you feel you have to do it, and so we came up with Run from the Bit. I tell the guests, if you ever feel like that, press it. And it's funny when they remember, because they're like, just press a fake thing.
I like that.
And anyway, so thank you. Because I felt like, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be like caught in a line read, and I got in my own head.
I had an audition
the fat.
For to be a spokesperson for an oat milk. And my first audition, it was on Zoom because it was during the pandemic. And it was a great audition. I felt so funny.
Why is that even funny?
Because you're supposed to. Because when you talk about stuff that anybody has ever thought, even if you disagree with it being controversial,
you remember.
You go.
You remember. Do another one. Give me another one.
Yeah, sure. The midterm elections were important, but Trump. So I do this audition and I feel funny and it was great and I got a call back and no shit I got a call back. I was great. Sometimes you do these things and And I used to book commercials like they were, M&Ms. And I do the callback with the director, and I do a version that I did the first choice, and then they direct me. I love getting direction because I love making choices and I love collaborating. So give me some to make. He said it, and I immediately felt like, I don't know what this is, but my instinct is, I don't know everybody my truth. Just do it. You don't have to be like, so I tried it and it just felt wrong. And I said, no. And they go, no, it's good. Just blah, 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 blah. And I said, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know if that's in my wheelhouse. And they go, no, it's good. And they do it. They just do it again. I go, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something. And I did something. I don't remember what it was. And they were like, well, yes, more of that, but a little. And were wanting. They kept trying. And I said, I got to be honest, not in my wheelhouse. I think this one's not for me. And I felt confident about that.
Wow.
I also felt like I know what I could do well. I know there's things where I should be challenged and learn how to do them. And listen, if I'm going to need to do a British accent, I'm not going to be able to do it if this job starts tomorrow. I'm going to need to meet with somebody who teaches me how to do it better than this.
Right.
It's not my wheelhouse
you said
to speak in a British accent.
You said it really well because that is a funny situation. And you said it beautifully. Like, I know you need to grow, go outside your comfort zones, but there's a different thing. And you said, it's just not in my wheelhouse. At least that's just being so honest. So they should, because I know we all know that feeling, and I've done it. I've jumped up and down on a fake bed for a commercial audition.
What's the analogy?
At the Hilton, our beds are pretty good, but at this hotel, and I had to fake jump. I felt horrible. Like I still remembered it was 30 years ago. Fake jumping up and down on a bed
that
for an
just
audition.
felt like I would never do this, so I'm lying. You couldn't tap into a character that would jump on a bed.
If it was a real bed, maybe that would have been.
What was it? A box?
No, it was just in a commercial audition, so they didn't actually have a bed, so you just fake jumped up and down on the floor.
Oh, right. It's an audition, not the commercial itself.
Right, not the commercial itself.
That's hard.
Yeah. It was.
So you had to like, this floor is better than this floor?
Yeah, and I was like, it felt so horrible. It felt like, and then my friend would be on he would happen to go to another commercial audition, and then that's right. We would go to another commercial audition a few months later, and I would go, they wanted me to do this, and it was silly. And he goes, well, you're silly. Like, that seems like something you would do, which was smart of him to say that. And I go, you're right, but when it's your own silly, of course, there's absurd things I'll do, but it's.
Well, that's the craft. Being able to tap into other things.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you can't tap into it because you're blocked. Sometimes you can't tap into it because it's too vulnerable. Sometimes you can't tap into it because you don't understand it enough. And that's what character work is, and that's what study is, and that's what craft is. Now, there are some things that you could tap into. Listen, if every time you go to a hotel, you actually do jump on the bed, then if you were in that room, I bet you could at least remember what that feeling is and you wouldn't feel so odd. So it's not that you can't connect to jumping on a fake bed. It's that you haven't yet.
Right. It wasn't even the product. It was just the fake bed in that situation.
It was you not being able to understand what that feels like.
I didn't like going auditions at all. It made me real nervous. And I will tell you what, one of the best days of my life when I said, I don't know why I thought I had to go on auditions. Like I asked my manager, I go,
do this. So there I was.
There you go.
Tell me where you were. Do me a favor. Tell me the story.
Okay.
But say, so there I was. Say where you were. And you know me. Explain yourself.
Right.
And then we talk to the manager and you know him or her and a little thing about them.
Okay.
Try it.
God, this is hard.
It's okay. So there I was.
So there I was. I was talking to my
So there I was. Say where physical location. And then say.
Is this a joke?
No, listen. So there I was.
It's too much for me to remember.
You could do it. I'm telling you, once you do it, it'll feel. Here's one of these
Okay,
times
I'm
where
gonna
you need to try and expand and grow.
Okay. I'm going to look at it as an acting role.
So there's you're introducing.
You know, I have bad dyslexia.
Well, you said that well.
Oh.
So you have to establish the location and then the people. That's it. So there I was, location.
Just not in my wheelhouse.
I believe in you.
Okay, thank you.
So there
So there I was. I'm in my manager's office, Alex Murray.
And you know my name.
You know Alex at Brillstein Entertainment.
Okay, we'll allow it.
And
I'm saying
but now I can't tell the story.
Now you're it. But now I'm interested.
So now, so listen, there I am.
Where?
I'm at my manager's office.
Okay.
Brillstein Entertainment. So it's the fucking real deal.
Okay.
And I'm nervous because all the big guys are coming in.
You know me, I'm nervous.
And so you know me, I get a little nervous. And then walks in Bernie Brillstein. his old friend of his.
And you know Bernie.
And you know Bernie, he loved me.
Oh, okay.
And Bernie was, Todd, I can't believe you're here. And my manager goes, tell everybody what you're going to tell me. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to tell. He's no, go ahead. I go, I don't want to act anymore. So he goes, you don't want to act. Okay, that's the fun part. But the serious part was I told my manager, I just said, I don't want to go out for commercial auditions. And then eventually no, unless it's a hosting thing, and then almost nothing. Because I said, it makes me feel like I'm in high school. And every day I have a stomach ache. What?
How'd you feel in high school?
I had fun the last 3. Actually, high school I had fun, but leading up to that,
So audition seems like a good time.
no, I hated it. I had a stomach ache. I always had homework. I was very bad at high school. I didn't have like a ton of friends early on, so the whole high school gave me a stomach ache having to get up for high school. I had one good day a week.
Can I tell you something?
What?
I'm interrupting. I had over 50 tardies my senior year. Well, all years, but senior is the most recent. Because I kept missing the bus because of my stomach aches. My mom and dad make fun of all the time. Like, Ricky, the bus is coming. And one of them had to take me to school. Horrible stomach aches every morning.
Did you fake it ever?
No.
Sometimes I did, but anyway, just so I give the proper version. My last 3 years, I met friends and had the time of my life. So that's a good ending.
Why did you make friends?
I just
Did you go to a
happened
new
to make.
school?
I made friends with this one kid. His name was Dave Olson,
Shout out to Dave Olson with both Instagram handle up here.
and everyone liked Dave. This is true,
Did you grow up with Dave though?
No.
So he came to school late?
No, I met him, and we moved a lot. So in 9th grade, I knew him a little. Then in 10th grade, I really got to know him, and he knew everybody. Everybody liked Dave Olson, and he was nice to me.
He's one of the guys that was popular, or just
He was
like
very
outside all the circles?
No, he was popular with everybody.
Did he win prom king?
I don't remember.
What about homecoming king?
I don't.
Let's get him on the phone.
No. Should I?
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm okay.
Yeah, here, we'll plug it in. Let's
Oh no, my phone's in there.
I'll get it for you. Here.
Well, anyway, I'll tell you this. So he knows that I feel this way, and then I talk about this in my book. That years later, when I was at his house, after high school, leaving, his parents were just really nice parents, and we were leaving the house. This is a true story, and he goes, "Hey, Dave, we're at this point. We're like, I think we already graduated high school."
He says to you, or you say to him?
He said it to his son, Dave.
Right.
His dad, Paul. He goes, "Hey, Dave, real casually, don't forget, be nice to someone that doesn't have any friends." So we get outside the house. I go, "Oh my God, that's me, right?" He goes, No. And he just laughed it off, and we moved on. But the point is that he probably did have something to do with that.
Maybe. Or at least that if that's how you're raised, like you at least, even if you're not trying to be a good guy, you're just raised to at least give people a chance.
Yeah, I think it's if it comes from your parents. Because my brother, I told him that story. He tells every one of his students that, so it lives on. And I think
my parents told me that to be like, you should call such and such. And I didn't really have many friends growing up, but I always thought, I never realized I didn't have friends because people weren't mean to me. I just thought I didn't realize until later on I didn't really have any friends. And then I do remember thinking, isn't it nice that I'm being friends with some of these weird kids? Because my mom would say it's so nice and it's nice and they love you and blah blah blah. And I didn't know I was one of them. I didn't realize I was one of those weird kids. I just thought I was being so nice.
Right.
No, that we were just the weird kid friends, and I didn't know I was in the weird kid friends group.
That is so great.
And I didn't know I wasn't in this one. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, let's see if he was prom king or queen.
I remember telling another friend of mine years later, who I'm still friendly with, Jim Madden. I go, well, Jim, I used to pick you up on the way to. You weren't on my way. I thought you were cool, and the fact that you were nice to me, I would go out of my way to pick him up. And this is later in life, like we're like 40. He's telling me this.
You going to school at 40?
No, this is like talking about it.
Oh, yes.
And I go, so we're just talking about from high school, and I go. And I said, it was out of the way. I thought, because you were cool. He goes, I wasn't cool. I'm like, yes, you were. He goes, no, I played baseball. Everyone thought we were dumb. And it was such perspective of like, it just everything, my perception of what he thought. I thought he knew he was cool. How could he not know he was cool? But
if you knew that he was just some dumb guy, you wouldn't have gone out of your way to pick him up.
Exactly.
Now let's get Todd Olson on the phone and find out if he was prom king or at least on the court.
Why am I nervous? This is fun. I bet he'll pick up. He usually picks up.
What you want to bet? What are the odds? If he usually picks up, give me 3-1 odds.
I'm going to say he's going to pick up.
Hello.
Dave, already you scored. I'm calling you on a podcast. Just so you know.
Hello? Sorry about that.
That's all right. And
I'm here.
I know. And I just said, they go, we 3-1 odds. Will he pick up? I go, I don't know. Dave picks up, and you picked up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on a podcast. Did you hear me say that?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
All right, listen.
Hang on a second.
That's all right.
Let me get to a quieter space.
That's all
I'm
right.
at a Thanksgiving, an early Thanksgiving.
We'll get to a quiet space.
Yeah, get to a quiet space. You're on a podcast.
Wait until he's at the quiet space.
Okay.
Also, that's such an early Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Hang
Just call
on,
it dinner
hang on.
before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It's called November dinner.
We have a few issues
All right, I
with
can
them.
hear you now.
All right, Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And did you hear me say that you're on a podcast?
That I'm on a podcast right now?
Yes. It's okay. It's not my
Yeah.
podcast. It's Rick Glassman's.
All right, I'm
Okay.
on.
Well, so we started talking about
How are you, Dave?
How are you? This is Rick.
I'm doing great.
Okay. We do have a question for you, but
Good, I'm all right.
Okay, so were you? I was saying all good things about you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Truly good things. That's why I was I was the one who asked if we could get him on the phone because of all the good things.
Right. I was saying how you were so popular. So anyway.
Yeah, and very smart.
And very yeah. You were very smart.
Everything good.
Everything good. And I told him when we were leaving your house, and your dad goes, "Be nice to someone with no friends."
Yep.
And I also, one other thing, and I never told Dave this. I think he smoked. Can I say this? Yeah, I'll edit it out if I can. I didn't smoke.
We'll just bleep it, and everyone will think you're just saying the N-word a bunch.
I didn't smoke pot in high school, but they did. A lot of my friends did. And years later, I go, "Is that why they were going to McDonald's all the time?" And I want to.
No, I never smoked pot in high school.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Anyway, that's it. Here's the question: Were you a prom king?
I was not a prom king. No.
Was he on the prom court?
Were you on the prom court?
No.
Homecoming.
No.
What age did he lose his virginity?
Like that was always like Bobby Rosado and all the cool kids.
Bobby
Rosada, come on.
So it sounds like maybe you guys weren't as cool as you thought.
Oh my God.
Because he doesn't even think you're one of the cool kids.
We had our own like little scene, but we were not the most popular.
Oh, I didn't say me, but I thought Jim Madden in high school was popular. And
Jim Madden was definitely on the prom. Yes, he was definitely.
We'll put up a picture of Jim Madden from homecoming or prom.
Yeah. And then I thought he said, what?
And Russell DiGilorenzo.
Yes. But I thought he said, what about you? I said, I thought everybody liked Dave. Every scene.
That's what the whole crux of this was, that you were out there with a smoking jacket and a pipe, and everyone was on board.
Yeah. Dave, don't be.
He liked that. He laughed at me.
No, I knew people in every scene. Like I was like all types of people.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, were you in no circles, but you were touching all the bubbles from the outside, walking around lunch, sitting at this table, saying out of these, but when you go home, you're like, I don't know who I could call? Or were you invited places? Were people like, we got to get Olsen? Olsen's the fucking man. Was that
no?
ever?
I was definitely not.
No.
I was the man, but I think I would go to like Jim would go to a party and I'd be like, no people there, right?
Right, but were you getting invited, or were you just tagging along with somebody else?
I think I was probably tagging
losers.
along.
Listen.
No, not a loser.
I'm just joking.
I know he's just joking. Plus,
I'm just joking.
I think Dave's being maybe he's not being modest. I know everybody liked Dave. That was that. So to me, I think he was being popular, but I think where he felt comfortable was with maybe what you would call, but the slice of whatever you want to call it.
Pie.
You know what I mean? I don't want to say nerds. It's such a dated term. But
but Dave, I got a question. What is it that you do for a living?
Oh God.
What do I do for a living? I mean, I work with districts on bond issues. I'm a financial advisor.
You work with this bitch in bondage? What did you say?
What we do, like when a school district needs to raise money for a capital project, like building a new school or something like that.
I guess he does work with a bitch in bondage. How's the superintendent? But here's what I want to know is...
he's got to go.
I'm going to let you go in a second, but this podcast, the Take Your Shoes Off podcast, we have a strong presence in the podcast game, and we charge, we'll bleep this number, $8,000 per ad. And I think we would love to hear a little bit about what you're doing. If you want to give yourself a quick little plug, tell us about your bonding, and tell us about what people could be doing for their children better. Should kids be wearing masks?
I serve a specific clientele that I don't think is your podcast.
Ooh, it sounds like the people that eat the gabagoo.
Yeah, they got the gabagoo. How about you give your daughter where is she working? What newspaper now? Send some love her way.
Oh yeah.
Yep, she works for the New York Times. Everyone should subscribe to the New York Times.
Whoa, well, not the New York Times. That's like telling people to watch my podcast. Subscribe to YouTube. We got to hone in a little bit. What's the column? What's her name? What do we?
Carly Olson.
Wait. This is Carly
Olson. She reports on the Ukraine now.
Carly Olson's your daughter?
Yes.
I only know about what's happening in Ukraine.
Are you lying?
She is.
No, he's lying.
No.
Lying.
We'll put up a clip. Put up a clip of me reading the newspaper, and then we'll cut back.
He's lying.
No, that's great. We'll put up some of her stuff. Maybe we'll find her Instagram. It's probably NY Times Carly. But if that's not right, we'll figure it out and put it up.
So Dave,
all right, fantastic.
Dave, thanks for being a good sport.
Thanks for being a good sport,
Dave.
Thank
you very much, and I'm super popular, but probably not as popular as Todd described.
Oh, so he is pop. Yeah,
yes.
It seemed like you were playing a little bit of an underdog. I get that. Hype up the daughter first. Smart. He is cool.
Oh!
That is popular. The type of guy that knows how to get. Right. All right.
But he left with some confidence.
Okay.
Some good.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Well, still, Thanksgiving is really a while away.
But we'll let you slide.
Take
all right.
care.
Bye, Dave.
Gobble gobble.
All right.
Gobble gobble.
Oh my God! You know what? He delivers.
Listen, there's a reason that you were so okay with calling him.
Yeah, he's a really.
Still can't believe Carly Olson's. I do read Carly Olson. Probably, if not ever, if I miss 5 days, that's a lot.
No, I know you're lying.
Why?
Because
I bet you've missed more days on the treadmill than I've missed reading Carly's.
But you wouldn't say truth.
Listen, I wouldn't say a lot of things.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that.
I need to have some water.
Yeah, let's get.
Wow, that was fun.
That was fun.
I never thought I'd get Dave Olson on the fucking pod.
Yeah, look at that.
Of course, he had a phone in. Can I get you any onions?
No, thank you.
Let's get into the nuance of comedy and why. No, this is very important. When you hear this joke, knock knock.
Mm-hmm. Who's there?
An interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow. Interrupting cow. Who?
Moo.
Moo.
Right.
Yes.
When you hear that joke,
Yes.
what does it make you think of?
The joke.
What's the joke to you? How does it work? And who came up with that joke? Knock knock.
Somebody came up with it.
Knock knock.
Interrupting cow.
An interrupting cow. Who?
Interrupting. Oh, okay. Do it again.
Knock,
knock,
knock.
knock.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
An interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow. Who?
Moo.
No, I did it wrong again. It's hard. I know what I should be doing.
I know what the joke is.
Who
Do you
interrupts?
really not know what it is?
No. I know.
You do it. You tell the joke. I was just joking.
You interrupt me, right?
Go ahead.
You have to interrupt
Say
me. I
knock,
get
knock.
it. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow. Who?
I don't know. I can't even follow. Like sometimes I'll get lost when I'm high, but then you'll do it and I'll go, okay, I get it.
All right, I'll show you what it is then. You'll get it. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting
Moo.
cow. Okay.
I thought you already knew.
No. I knew it in another time.
Let's just say you didn't know.
I knew the joke, but I didn't remember it.
In another time.
Couldn't remember
in another
how
place.
I couldn't remember how to launch it, but I knew that.
Do you have any jokes that are like that? Like it's got to set up in a punchline that is less than 10 seconds?
Yeah, why would a bird live in a shitty neighborhood? Stuff like that.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm just saying, why would he? He can fly. Just jumped and stay jumped. But that sometimes just why would a bird live in a shitty neighborhood? Just
why would
gets a
anybody? Anybody can move. You don't have to fly to move out of a neighborhood.
Yeah, but
why doesn't the frog? Because he could hop away.
It doesn't cost you more to fly a mile down the road into a park. Now I get it logically.
But it doesn't cost a frog more to hop a mile down the road to the park. Everything could get. Most animals could get. So it's not exclusive to a bird. So I don't understand.
One thing I learned years ago: never spend any energy defending a bit, and the other person knows that, and then you just get exhausted, and you're like, "No, the difference is this is for a bit." Now but you get it.
So
you get
I don't. So do you have?
You don't get the joke?
No, because it has nothing to do with a bird.
The
that
bird,
you could say, why didn't the bear live where you know?
I would say that, but it's easier for a bird to fly.
No, it's not. Birds always.
You know what? You might be. I swear to God, you might be right. Even though I know you're not taking me to court on it, but I'm sitting here thinking, like, even on a silly mode, you have to be able to like look even at a silly joke and go,
There's
"Wait,
gotta
is
be
there
something? Otherwise, there's nothing."
It got to laugh, and I got why I got to laugh. But you're right. Now that I know that,
You got to laugh because it was an anti-joke, because it was a left turn, not because, and there was no pun, but but it wasn't because of the bird.
right? Why would a bear?
You could do it with a person.
I tell you why a bird works better than a. You could say a bear would be true or any animal. I think a bird, if you were picking an animal, and you would go because a bird. It just seems easier for a bird, whether it is or it doesn't matter, to fly over like just, to go a little easier. They just get up over all the traffic. There's no streets.
But also, birds are known for traveling and migrating all over the place, so they don't live in a bad neighborhood.
Right, I know.
So that's literally just what they do. They just fly from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Right. But the funnier part of that joke is about a pigeon I used to talk about when the pigeons. Now this is, I think, funny. No, I think the other one's funny too. What I mean is this has logic to it.
Oh, I love this.
So when a pigeon, I used to this based on a true experience
With a pigeon.
driving in the city, and when the pigeons used to stress me out when I was younger because my grandfather knew they were going to move, and he'd sort of drive into them, and they'd always move out of the way, and but it scared the living shit out of me. And so when I'm driving in the city and there's pigeons, I like honk my horn a little bit.
Give them a little heads up.
So I go, one day I realized, because they always act like, this is from the act, by the way, they're hustling. And it's like, they do look like they're like, oh, they hear the engine. They know, and they're hustling. I go, what are you hustling for? You're trying to play you can fly.
What do you mean hustling? Oh, like walking
faster?
faster?
Yeah, like walking faster. I go, you can fly. Jump and stay jumped.
But you know what?
What?
Here's a little proof. Maybe the birds flying away to move isn't as easy as you think. If they're not even willing to fly away by getting run over by a car,
right?
Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is easier to hop.
Maybe it's more work.
So I don't think necessarily a bird flying away.
Yeah. Well, there goes all my bird. Can I tell you? Can I tell you something? Truth. Out of all bits that I used to have after that joke. I used to go, I have another bird joke. That's right. I have 3 bird jokes. More bird jokes than any other fucking comedian you're ever going to see out here on this stage. Now I might only have 1, and
2.
At that point I'll drop it. And I'll bring them back. I'm bringing back a lot of the classics.
Tell me one.
I decided. Sometimes I will bring back an old joke that I used to have fun telling.
You know what? We talked about how great this curtain would be for a comedy club. Sometimes we bring people over to the Take Your Shoes Off Comedy Club. You know what? Snap. We'll head down over.
You have a microphone? No, I don't know if I want to stand up. So the ShamWow is an infomercial for a rag, basically. Right. And they start listing all the things that a rag wipes up. And then after a while, you think, well, maybe this is a good product. It's relentless. It's like, it wipes up juice. Yeah, you're like rags. It wipes up juice. Use it inside. Use it outside. Use it upstairs. Use it downstairs. Use it in the living room. Use it in the dining room. Use it in the kitchen. That's right. What type of dog do you have? A golden retriever, miniature pinscher, Doberman pinscher, schnauzer, big dog, small dog, little dog, any type of dog at all. If the dog goes to the bathroom on the carpeting, you're not going to be able to get it out. With old-fashioned rags, the urine goes deeper and deeper in. You have to have an excavator come to your house, clear out your property, pour in Clorox, and it still has that pungent smell.
I don't get it anymore.
But with the ShamWow, the urine will come up, your interest rates are going to come down, you're going to be able to pull equity out of your house and take that well-deserved vacation you wanted to take. What type of cat do you have? Do you ever get cat hair on your high-end sweaters?
Yeah.
That's right. With the ShamWow, it'll come right off. With old-fashioned lint brushes, they're $500 each, and then you get them wet and you have to throw them out.
Yeah.
Not with the ShamWow. The ShamWow, the hair comes right off. Big cat, small cat, Himalayan cat, alley cat, Persian cat, indoor cat, outdoor cat, upstairs cat, any type of cat at all, even a bobcat, the hair will come right off. Yes. I thought I was going to have to move to another city, start all over again, and make new friends. That's harder as you get older. Yeah. Not with the ShamWow.
Yeah.
Do you like free things?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You don't seem like you do.
I do.
Do you really like them?
I love them.
Order right now and you get a free bottle of Rain-X. I had an uncle, he didn't use the Rain-X in the shower. The mirror steamed up, he cut his jugular, he bled out in front of the whole family Thanksgiving. Do you want that to happen to you?
Way.
When you buy the ShamWow. I'll tell you what, you buy one now and get a free pair of scissors. What do you think of that?
I don't really need the scissors.
Cut it in half, you have 2 ShamWows. Cut it in half again, you have 4. Cut it in half again, you have 8. Cut it in half again, you have 16. Cut it in half again, you have 32. Cut it in half again, you have 64. Cut it in half, you have 128. You keep cutting and they'll keep growing.
$2.56.
$3.
$5.12. $10.14. $20.28.
Oh, that bit's over.
Snap.
Boom, boom.
Whoa. Wow. That was quite a swipe back.
Wow.
Now, if you want a snapback, head on over to rickglassman.com for our snapbacks and we're back snapback hats. So you wanted to acknowledge that was an old bit to make sure people know.
Yes.
In case they thought you were maybe doing a new ShamWow bit.
Yeah, right. Sometimes I figure out ways. If you give a bit context, you can get away with doing an old bit. And I'll just have like somebody I have a little band sometimes. We talked about that. On their microphone, I'll go, hey, does anyone want to hear a new bit? And it's so obvious it's somebody. They go, do ShamWow. And I go, all right, that's an older bit. And the guy goes, come on, my sister's sick, and I brought her here to see a specialist. I go, and I do the bit. So get away with it.
That's really funny. I'm going to do that.
It's fun. Sometimes I'll go, I don't see you, and I'll go, wave your hands. And then somebody will just wave their hands in the audience, and then that's got to be them. I go, oh, there you are, right there. I go, the audience could.
Oh, if somebody just will wave their hand to help out?
Yeah, just to help out.
Isn't it nice when people help?
It is. You know what? I realized that I don't like heckling, but I know it's fun to participate. So sometimes I'll try to give the audience places to participate as a group.
So you'll say like, here's a moment if anyone wants to interrupt me.
No, I'll ask them if they want to see a bit angrier. I go, sometimes I don't do the bit angry because sometimes it scares people. Do you want to see it angrier? They always go,
Are you
yes.
funnier, angrier?
I think I can hit a level.
Let me see you orgasm angry.
I don't feel it right now.
Uh-huh.
I mean, but not only because it just exudes a lot of energy. But if I could do the hotel bit, like that's a bit I remember one night a long time ago because I've been talking about that for a long time. Then I get bored of it, and then I get angry at it.
Let me hear
the
it.
hotel. But I said they go. I did that bit about the hotel sheets. They go angrier. And I tell you genuinely, I couldn't do it right now. I might get a headache.
Right.
Because it's real. It is in a weird way real frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say I don't get it, I would if somebody told me, you know, my stepdad or my uncle or they're the CEO they'll be at that party and they heard that bit. They'll explain it to you. Oh, I love that conversation. What don't I get? Like I really want to know. It's not just me. Oh, those hotel what?
You never had that conversation.
No, I'm saying I would genuinely want to.
I know the answer. The answer is it makes it a lot easier for them to not have to do put in a duvet, turn it inside out, grab the 2 corners, go like this. But if you're doing that all the time, you just have to listen. I used to work at McDonald's when I was 13, got a worker's permit because I wasn't technically old enough. And I didn't want to make the coffee because it was so hot, it made me hot. And then I'm hot, and now my hat hurts. And I just didn't want to do it. So I would always have Georgie, by the way, shout out to Georgie, thanks for helping out. He would always make the coffee for me. If I, as a 13-year-old boy working at McDonald's, had the same power as these CEOs who don't want people to put duvet covers on, I would just say, people don't drink coffee anymore. We'll just give them beans.
Right.
No. Some things you have to just, I know it saves you time, but I don't want beans. I want a duvet cover. New merch.
Right. Yeah, it's so anyway. But
Anyway, so mad at me.
I think because you talked about letting the crowd participate. So if they asked me to do that bit angry or there used to be a fun way to be able to get angry. Sometimes I still do it on other bits. Like I'll be, you want to see that bit angry?
You ever try? You want to see that bit nicer?
Nicer, that's
like
funny.
really nice.
You want to see that bit? That's really funny.
I have found.
Can I say that into my phone? Because I will forget. I never even fucking thought about that. And you could be real nice and look at the same joke from a more empathetic perspective. It's so funny.
A lot of times I get aggressive and I find myself, the joke isn't the aggression. That is just a stage for it to live on. A lot of times, nice. I like to be nice. A lot of times.
You know, when you say, would you want to see that bit angrier? What about nicer? The thing Rick Glassman was talking about.
Nice it's the same joke. It's just, you're just looking at it from this side. Like if I go, hey, nice shirt, would you get that? The fucking ugly ass bitch store?
Oh.
Right. Same joke as this. That's a really nice shirt. Where'd you get that? The nicest shirt place that you could ever get a shirt. I fucking love black button downs, but I always get hair on it. And that's so clean. It's just having a strong point of view about a shirt.
You know, I compliment the audience sometimes and I go, you can be complimentary to people and it's funny, all these comedians do crowd work. So I have the drummer give me a rim shot. I go, I actually like your shirt. Boom, boom. I go, see, it's fun.
Oh, but you're secretly still being mean.
Not really.
Because the compliment is a joke. I
think
there's a layer to that
way.
Yeah, hey, really nice glasses. They look really good on your face, but I'm ching. It's almost as if,
oh, Rick, you really have making me have a. So it's what I always thought they got that it's nice, and yeah, you put a rim shot at the end of it because I don't have a sarcastic tone to it. Literally, I'll go
very dry.
Hold on, let me see. I'll go. I like your Rick. I think you're right. I'm not just keep saying that.
Give me some compliments. Give me one.
Well, Rick, you actually have really good style. No, you do. Okay, now. I think on this one you might not have budged me because I think in the tonality of what I say, they might be laughing at it doesn't really, because like just then it didn't sound that sarcastic when I go, oh, you actually have really good style. Boom, boom. No.
I guess I get why that's funny.
I bet it's 50-50. But I don't like that I don't want the joke to be me making fun of something.
Not your job to tell other people how to take the joke.
No.
I have a.
I can do better than that. In other words, I don't want a joke that involves making fun of what someone's wearing.
Hold on. Let me offer perspective in the same way that.
But we don't have to agree.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But just remember when we did something earlier where we were talking about something. I just remembered what was it? Talking about pitching a joke. Like sometimes it's just like. Like we always wanted to commit. We always wanted to keep going because otherwise you lose. Like, no, sometimes it's worth it, but also know when it's not. Get out early, right? Know when to fold them.
Right.
And that doesn't even mean the bit's not working. It just means the best version of it doesn't exist with all this energy.
Right.
Anyway, here's another perspective on that. You think you're doing a joke to where you're showing, look at, it's still funny to be nice with only positive intention. You're still doing it with positive intention. And I'm sure a lot of people see it that way. If somebody else sees another potential layer, which, by the way, anything you do, you could add a mean perspective onto it. Anything. So don't get in your way because there could be, but be aware. That way, there could be something you could you could play into it a little bit. Like you could have some fun.
I have an answer to that.
Okay.
I have an answer to that.
Tell me.
And by the way, I'm not like I say this a lot. I'm not writing the rule for every comedian should do exactly what they want.
Sounds like this is something that you feel everybody should do. I just want you to know how it's coming across.
Do you serious?
No.
Okay. I always like to make that real clear because it's like that's what's cool about comedy. You do what you want. I might complain about something, but I certainly don't. I want everyone to be able to do exactly what I do.
Absolutely.
What I want to do.
Right.
But something that is like. I think I find myself, I can be crass. I think crass is so funny without even dabbling in. And the reason I wouldn't do it, because you brought up, you said that well, because I think if I thought, who's going to think that? Maybe then I keep doing it. But I think it's very easy for an intelligent person to think that maybe my glasses aren't nice. And I want someone to feel special and not for a second have a joke of mine be insecure about their shirt or their hair.
But there's where you get to then say, does this feel like... Did you know that I was really complimenting you?
Did you what?
Did you know that I was really complimenting your glasses? Or did you think I was making fun because of the rim shot? Why don't we try it without a rim shot first? Excuse me, miss, you have amazing breasts.
Wow.
Okay, now you believe me, right? You believe that I like your breasts?
Yes.
I want to suck and fuck your breasts?
I can't
so
be
now,
part,
no,
I can't be part of this.
Hold on. So now we use a rim shot. You could use any body parts you want. There's something about breasts. You could just go, you know what I mean? Virgin. But I hear you, man. Man.
You know what? That talk, don't edit out the part where I say, will you watch yourself?
Right. You know what? In fact, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do everything I just said, but what did you say before? How does that thing go? Or say, I'm loving this. Or what's the McDonald's slogan?
I never said that before.
But what is the McDonald's slogan?
I'm loving this. I think something like that.
Okay, great. Got you. Got you on the fucking hook. So when he goes, no, I can't do this. Just got to him going, I'm loving this.
Oh, yeah.
What's Nike's slogan again?
You dirty dog. Isn't that what they say?
Oh, yeah. Put that one in the two. No joke. But what is the Nike slogan?
But no, I don't remember.
I really do. Oh, but no, because there's another joke, something about
Swoosh.
this. Yeah, but it's like just da-da-da.
No, I know what it is.
What is it?
Nope.
What is it?
You got me once. You genuinely got me. Now I won't even say it. I mean, if you want as a present, I'll say it for you.
I just don't remember the slogan.
Just do it.
All right, now whenever I'm talking about grabbing the boobs, just go.
No,
just
no.
do it.
You know what? It can't be. Anyway, that's the. I gave you the honest answer though. I gave you an
Of course,
honest
and
answer.
I was just debating you because I'm high and it's fun to debate. I
Right.
think I was just offering perspective, and
Right.
it seems like I taught you a valuable lesson.
You did. You really did.
So, that game that we just did, where I'm talking to you about boobs or whatever, and then we were pretending to cut in and out, which we can do, or to make it easier, could we just do one now where you just? But
No.
every time, hear me out. Every time we cut to you, it makes it look like we took it out of context. Like I'll be like, "You ever grab some boobs?" And you'll be like, "I love doing that." Does that make sense?
Oh, sure. I love doing that.
Yeah. So it'll seem like it's different time.
I don't know if
You'll do some alpha changes.
I don't know.
Of course, you don't want to do that.
Right.
I know you. Oh, I'm seeing why I didn't have friends.
Oh, who you?
Yeah.
No,
You know, at least I'm aware now. I used to do, but I would always but I would make people play the games I wanted to play.
Oh, but you know what? You made I did a lot of silly stuff and trusted you and reaped the rewards of it. So just because I pushed back on one,
You don't hear too many people using the word reap with a positive ending.
Oh,
Usually,
yeah.
reap is something
Yeah,
you
right.
sow. It's death. Never reap something so happy.
to reap the rewards.
Oh, I guess reap rewards.
Can't believe only you would talk about the
Pleats.
Only you
Reap the rewards. Is that
reap
the thing?
the rewards. What
Is reap the rewards?
I don't know. I don't know if I've heard somebody say that or I just
The word reap. I mean,
Yeah,
it
look
literally
at-
sounds like a cartoon, like duck getting like choked. Reap. Let's see. Reap.
Oh boy.
We like to always end a podcast.
You go to
with-
comedy on State Street,
never
Vermont Comedy Club?
I've never been to Vermont. I don't think.
Oh, you should. Vermont, they're both great clubs. I was just at the Vermont Comedy Club, and it's absurd. It's like
Give them a commercial.
the Vermont
We'll add a
Comedy
little-
Club.
We'll add a little music, so keep in mind the energy will be there. Will be a little bit tighter.
You know, some clubs are in a league all by themselves. Some clubs are in a league all by themselves. The Vermont Comedy Club. There's a lot of A+ rooms, right? Well, maybe not a lot, but there's a decent amount. And then there's other clubs above that. That's the Vermont Comedy Club. Just a good creative vibe. When you have to narrow it down, it gets harder to say, but it is true. And I want them to be successful because they really care. They care about comedy, you know? And I love that.
How do you know that a club cares about comedy?
That's a great, you know what? You can tell by a green room. There might be exceptions, but I don't know how deep down you can go. I don't know how many excuses you can make. A green room says you could talk a great a good story, and you can make people think you care about comedy and you like comedy, you nurture comedy. But really what you think about comedy is one element of it is your green room.
Go on.
That's how much you respect it. You can't talk your way out of that. Someone can't hear this that owns a club right now. Let's say it got into their ears.
Okay.
It might have an awesome club, but it's funny how the good clubs, even the smallest space, they'll make it nice. They'll figure out a way to make it nice. So I think it says everything. A green room. If you have a disgusting green room, that's what you think about comedy. I don't know how you can.
How much does the club itself care about comedy? If that's the packaging of the product, but the product is the audience themselves, how much does the packaging reflect the audience?
Well, they don't see the backstage.
Exactly. So you could have a club that's a great club because the audience is always great, but there's a horrible green room, right?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny when I say a nice green room. The Acme in Minneapolis is not a fancy green room because there's all stone walls. It's very easy for me to go back there and get really comfortable because it has just a creative vibe. So I like put my spin on it and I'll gel a light, but it doesn't take a lot. Like that.
Gel a light?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You know, put like a gel on it so it's like the room's blue instead of, you know, but like, I don't know, most of the nice clubs do have pretty good green
You
rooms.
said gel a light as if that's a saying. Like, you
I know, I
I'll,
always
I'll
do
put on
that.
some sneakers.
I always do that.
But that's not a thing people do.
They don't even know what it is.
You know, yeah.
They come
I'll
in-
pop a doobie.
They're
Like, that's a thing people know.
right. And I do that a lot, and I'll forget that. No, it's they come in squares. Photographer uses them. They'll like cut them.
I know what
and
you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you do, but I'm telling the audience.
They know what you're talking about.
They do too. Okay.
Now.
Right. They do now. Oh, once I clarify, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
They get to reap
I'm
the
done.
benefits of the
I don't
story.
need to talk about that stuff. I was glad I stayed away from it overwhelmingly.
Stayed away from comedy clubs.
Yeah, like that I talk
Club
about
talk?
it all the time. I don't need to talk about it.
What made you bring me a beautiful bottle of wine? Is it whenever you visit somebody, you bring them a gift, right?
Well,
I think you did that before.
I don't know if I did it before, but I don't know. I thought you walk into a cool atmosphere. I go, I'm an adult. I'll bring a bottle of wine.
Huh. Do you do that whenever you go to a place?
I don't, but sometimes I will.
Did you have it at home? Did you go and get it?
I was going to Vaughn's anyway.
Right.
Today.
Had you not had to go to Vaughn's, do you bring me something from home?
I have a bottle at the house. I would have used it. Like just
it's like I keep a hoodie. I usually keep a hoodie in my car in case it's a great day. I don't need it, but then I'm out at night and it's cold. I want to have it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to go get it. That's kind of like a wine, right?
Right. And I drink wine if somebody else opens it up. I'll have some.
You don't know how to open wine?
No, but it's celebratorial. I enjoy it.
Right.
It's a different buzz. Like if you have 4 glasses of wine, it's a completely different buzz
than
like 3 Jack Daniels.
What about 4?
It's still different, I feel. It's just a little gentler.
Well, Todd, I watch your Instagram clips and I think to myself, why is he still doing this? But you have fun. So no, I watch him and I share yours. I send your clips to people.
Thank you.
And you have a very loving, peaceful, calm energy for somebody I know has a lot of aggression in them. And it makes me feel safe knowing that I could be any energy. And if you choose to match it, you will, but it won't matter.
Thank you.
I also like that our names are so similar. So if we ever did a podcast together, there's so many versions of things that would have the smallest change. So if we could end this segment with, if we had a podcast together, let's think of all the different names it could be.
Right.
Obviously, there's Glassman and Glass.
Right.
There's Glass and Glassman, and then we could fight which sounds better.
Classy Glass and Jewy Glass.
Ooh. But which one's classy?
I'd let you be classy.
Thank you.
You taller. You nice glasses.
Thank you. Glass and Glass.
Glass and
Glass man. Glass.
The glass menagerie.
Glass man, and we got to get we could be like lawyers. We'll get a jury, and it can be glass menagerie.
Right.
Glass menagerie.
That's good. Glass City, glassy glass.
Glass City.
I know that's not. You'd think you'd come up with more, but really it runs out pretty quick.
I think glass and glass, comma
glass
man.
and glass, yeah.
Glass and glass, comma man. Like if you listen to Glass and Glass, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah! Oh, they're great.
Did you think? Because I just kind of zoned out. Were you like, am I supposed to be a character?
Oh no, I didn't. But then I realized you're asking me like it's our name and we already have our show, and somebody goes, "Hey, do you listen to it?" I'm like, "Yeah, see how well it sounds."
Great.
I did, but I figured it out very quickly.
Yeah, Glass and Glass, man.
Oh, they're great.
Do you like their older stuff better?
You know what?
What's one of the things you like the most?
I don't like them anymore.
Oh, okay.
What they did was so wrong. When Rick called up that pizza parlor and told the guy he was going to shove a fucking ravioli up his ass.
Yeah.
And then the guy cried, and then they played it on their show.
Right.
And that's how they lost their license.
Oh, their license for what?
For the Podcasters Association.
If this were happening on stage, I would look to you like this. All right, let me get a Polaroid of you. And where do people find you?
Instagram.
What
Todd
about
Glass on Instagram? Todd Glass on TikTok. And then
you're into TikTok now.
Can I tell you? Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I do.
Tell me angrily what you like about TikTok.
I don't want to. And I wouldn't even mind if you didn't want to hear, because you know what? I have been talking about it a lot, and I love it, but I don't need to just
tell me.
You're
not boring me. You're one of my faves.
I've said this when podcasts happen. I said the same thing.
Okay.
I don't believe that these vehicles that come around, especially for stand-ups, like there's these secondary vehicles that can help you creatively and also put people in seats sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen for everybody, but everybody's always meets it with and I go, I think it's that you have to do a little work. Don't tell me, like I would say, if HBO came to you and said, hey, we want to do little vines. And the manager called you and he goes, they're going to give you $100,000. Make up any figure. You could say $100,000 to do Vines, and then they, you know what they are, but you couldn't have a ball doing it.
Okay.
You would, but it's the work. So the same thing with TikTok. I don't think TikTok's for everybody. This is the cleanest way I can say it.
Okay.
I don't think it's for every performer. I don't. You might have a podcast you put a lot of energy into. For everybody, it's different. But I will say this: if you can at least acknowledge what's good about it, I think the danger is that you're slipping, because that's like the comedians in the 80s thought that the comedians from the 60s and 70s thought the 80s sucked. And it's that whole thing that, TikTok, all they do is dance. It's being unaware that there's no good music or there's no good this. TikTok has a lot of shit. So does every vehicle. So does but the everything from silly to nice to kind to funny, little videos that I'm jealous of, to brilliant young adults saying things so cleanly, to a dog smiling.
Whether it be the difference between race, gender, or sexual orientation, we are not the same, but we are together. Those types of things?
Yeah, everything. Everything is on there, and it can be beautiful. It can make your day. It can be silly. So I meet it with joy. I said to my friend, don't go on TikTok if you're going to do it. Yeah, I'll do it. No. If you can't figure out a way to have fun and actually go and enjoy myself, I would never tell you to do it. Don't tell you to. But it's the whole thing was fun. The whole creative thing and finding my footing on it, I really enjoyed. It's a fun creative outlet for me to have. Chad is bored. He helps me with my with them, and it's fun. There you go. Chad is bored on TikTok. But it's just a fun vehicle for me, and it inspires me. It really does inspire me. And so that's why I got into it, because I think it makes sense to get into it. I think if you're not mad at change, then it really makes more sense to love it than it does not to love it.
If you're not mad at it?
Like, there's, when I say mad at it, TikTok, it's like, why do you have to weigh in on it even? Like, I get if it's not your thing, but I guess I'm combative because a lot of people, I go home or
Who's
something.
Who's weighing in on it?
Comedians,
like, fuck that.
Did you know they're on TikTok, or do you think they should be on? And it's like, why are you meeting it? If you're not doing it, that's one thing, but can't you just...
But you know what you're talking about? You're just talking about the human psychology and fear. And listen, this happens with people in homosexuality or the Jews. Why can't we be attracted to or believe in whatever God, lover, or app we want to be creative with? Oh, fuck him. He's nothing but TikTok. Come on, man. Do you know how many... it's not necessarily hate crimes against TikTokers, but it is that same tribal mentality where people, if it's not what they do, other people are wrong. And it's not even because they think their way is right, but because if the other person's way was right, their way may be wrong. And that's not the case. I got a perfect example in why racism happens. Oh, looks like we're out of time. What's going on here?
You do a tight close.
Let's say you, me, Fred Armisen, Dave Attell, and Jethro Tull go to a diner. We all order. You order first, okay? And then you go to the bathroom because I order first. I gotta go to the bathroom. You had to take a shit or something, right? Stomach issues.
No, just number one.
Okay, well, you're up there for a while.
But I had to.
When people tell you beforehand, man, there was such a long line, because they don't want to say I didn't poop. So you come down, right? And now we all already ordered. You didn't think anything of it. You got a chicken sandwich, right? You got a turkey club, bacon on the side because you're weird, but you like the bacon. You put it on, but you want to dry it yourself. You don't want the grease to go in. You're talking, having a good time. He comes over, brings somebody over his coffee. It's late. And you're like, coffee? And it makes you think, I don't want to. And then makes you quite curious. What did you guys order? You found out that everyone ordered breakfast. Belgian waffle, the pancakes, the full stack, because it's only $1 more. You're getting double, even though you're not going to eat them. How do you get the half stack for $1 less? Mm-hmm. Anyway. And now you start to realize, fuck, I really want breakfast. I fucked up. I want breakfast. You want what they have, even though you only want that because they have it. So there is a more conscious form of jealousy, right? Not even envy, actual jealousy. I should have done that, right? Now, when you're not conscious of that, sometimes you may feel that, they got the best waffles here. Why did you get the turkey club? Fuck the waffles. The waffles fuck anyone who gets the waffles has a little dick.
Right.
And it's like, wait, let them, you don't have to want the waffle. You could want the waffle and not get it. You could want it and get it. But whatever, they have, it has nothing to do with you or the size of their dick if they get the waffle. That's what people are doing with TikTok. That's what people are doing with prejudice. Talk on that.
No, I'm with you. I think there's probably a few slices of why people are it's the same thing. Like we said with Instagram or podcast, every new vehicle that comes along. You know, I said to my one friend once, I go, look, my goal is, especially when it's a friend I love, like it's not to mock them, it's to motivate them. I always hope that someone goes, you know what, thanks a lot, I needed that. It's not from there's comedians that have taught me things over the years. So many comedians, little things and big things.
Do you remember any in particular?
I remember, seriously, I do remember a comedian telling me when I was very young, he hung out with me during the day, and he goes, you're really funny, and I didn't take offense to this. And he goes, you should figure out how to like bring that onto the stage. And I could have gotten offended, but I knew what he meant. He goes, you're funny. I knew I was funny.
How did you do it? Could you give any
I remember
examples?
the next week, I just went, I started trying to tell stories about my parents and like I knew what he meant, like bring you up there. So anyway, good advice, I took it. So anyway, if one of the things that I can offer, not as a place of, oh, I think I'm so great, just is the speech when they need to hear it, as far as like, you know, I said to a friend, I go, it's not that you're against, I go, I'm watching you from afar. It's not that you don't like one vehicle. Not every vehicle could be right for you. It's that you don't like any. And that's what I would say to a big group of comedians. It's not the one. It's that every vehicle. I've been watching you. We've known each other 20 years. You know, oh, this, oh, that. So that should be, if you want to grow as a performer, you should not want to do that. If
you want to grow as a person.
As a person.
Stop judging other people, because what you're doing is judging the choices you may or may not be making.
Then someone could say, I'm doing that, but maybe you're not. I hope you're not saying that.
Not only am I not saying that, say it wouldn't matter, because, you know, this is going to sound silly, but maybe you think you're perfect. I think you're damn near close.
No, you know what? I set it up in a way to say some people inspire me to be better, and if this is one thing I offer, I don't do it in a oh, look at me, I'm so forward thinking, and I'm so no. Believe me, I know you're not saying it, but I'm saying it sometimes out of paranoia, and it makes you feel better sometimes when you give it a little preface like that.
Your character work, when you were showing what you're not being, you're hoity-toity, you're regal, you're what was the thought? What is that satirizing? What is it's like
up on your high horse?
Yeah, so that's you're thinking like 1700s.
Yeah, I guess what's that cartoonish thing we all have? Oh, excuse
right.
me.
Yes. Posh.
Yes, I'm so but that's it. I saw you're on it. You got a good. You know what? I have a running joke with Gary Goldman on TikTok. I go, Gary,
he's so funny.
I go, your guy. I go, you know, I'm following more people than you, and I've only been on it for 4 months.
Good.
He's like, oh, and then I call him another day. I go, Gary, I'm following even more than before, because that's all I have more than him is people I follow.
Are you good friends with Gary?
I am.
I want him on my podcast.
Really?
So much.
I think
I don't know
what?
him. I've never met him.
This has been an easy podcast to tell someone to do. Because you know what you can say here. Go. You'll have a good time.
You know what? You'll think about it when you leave.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah, I call Gary. The reason I committed to that bit is because of like if I ask James Adomian or Gary Goldman to do a bit from their act, they fucking do it. Like if I have a friend and I go, if someone asks me, I try to go up there.
I think that's very cool. I clocked that, and I'm very attracted to people that could do that.
And I called Gary. I had 5 friends over one night, and we did mushrooms. And it was at the end of the night. We're coming down. I said, one of the newer kids on the podcast, like he's like probably 20 at the time, and he's interning on the podcast. Mm-hmm. He goes, would he do this bit? We asked him. He did it so good. It's like a 5-minute bit.
That's great.
And we just sat around loving it. So I love that. So if someone asks me, I never go, oh, I can't do it. I go, I'll fucking do it. You know?
Do you know Brent Morin?
Wait, Brent was on that show with you, right?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
One of my best buds, but it depends on the mood, obviously, of course. But a lot of times you could ask him to do the bit, he'll he'll like get into position.
Oh, I love
get
it.
up, and he'll do it. And he'll
Good
do
for
the
him.
bit.
It says a lot about somebody because it's awesome. It's I love it.
Because they know, because this is what we do, or everyone has most things that people, I would imagine, some people maybe, who knows how many people have a thing. But if you have a thing that you could do and you know you could do it, You know what you're talking about? You can make the same choice by being angry or nice. It's the same part of your mind that either gets up and does it or goes, no, I don't want the modesty or the faux modesty of, no, I get it. You don't want to do it. Don't do it. But at least allow yourself to know, no, people will like this.
Yeah.
And I'm good at this thing.
Yeah, Gary, that was great. The abbreviation bit of the States. Did the whole bit. We were just
brilliant.
It was so just awesome. So anyway.
Hey, Todd.
What?
I had a great time with you.
This was so much fun.
Yeah,
I almost had so much fun. I wish it was a sleepover because then you wouldn't be.
I would love to do a sleepover series with you. I've done some sleepover series.
Have
before.
you really?
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you wake up and have breakfast or?
Well, yeah. Well, I did one. The first one was with Adam Ray. We slept. My aunt has this beach house, and we went there, and he came over in the afternoon. We did one on the rooftop. Then that night we got so baked, and we put up video, but I mean just a picture in picture. I don't want to cut anything, but we literally took a bubble bath together, and then got in pajamas and podcasted. And then the next day, after we were so high, the next day in the morning, like drinking coffee, and we did it, and it was a 3-part series. I talked to Harlan Williams about doing a sleepover series in Vegas, and it was just easy to talk about doing something. But there might be something really fun about maybe getting a few comics.
What if you had different rooms?
Well, I wanted to do the one where we each have our own thing, but you have the group room,
right? Like
a dorm or something.
Yeah, so you got your bed and your bathroom, you got your privacy.
You're in your own thing. But not only do we get to do the podcast in the living room and laugh doing it, but also like you stay 2 nights, we do 1 or 2 podcasts, but that's just a good time.
That's just exactly.
Get the room service brought up. We got the TV going. Everyone's doing their own bits or shtick.
Have you done that?
I've done it with like
here, but you haven't done it in Vegas yet.
No, I've done it in Vegas when I've gone with friends, but never. I've podcasted in Vegas a few times. I go. My dad and his friends go. So yes, they go, and we have the Vegas dads, and I go there and set up cameras, and they're all gambling, and I'm following around with my iPhone to put in like some B-roll. But then we go into the room, and they're just fucking so stoned. I bring all my cameras. I bring the microphones, and yeah, but I've never done it. I've only done it with the Vegas dads. I've never done it with other comics.
That's great.
Would you possibly do that?
Yeah, that's like right up my alley. Because you're right. You just have a good time too. There's something about when you get that same giddy feeling, even though you get your own bed. You're not in the hall, but you still get it because you can hear the other person in the other room. Everyone keeps doing bits.
And I would be uncomfortable. I don't want to share a shower.
Me neither.
I want to wipe my seat, have a clean room service. Housekeeping doesn't even come in.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're on the same page. I've done that, by the way, socially too. But never did a podcast.
For no reason or for like a party or a celebration?
I would work in Vegas a lot, so I was able to get like a second room, and I would go tell my acts, bring your friends down, and then, but the common room, we'd all hang out, and then when you're tired, just like you go to your tent, you go to your room.
Adam Ray just got married in Arizona, and so we go there for the weekend. So it just felt like a camp. There's just, people hanging out and you have a thing, but only for celebrations. Why not? Usually for celebrations. I want to let's do it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to think about this and I'm going to put you on the potential list.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue.